Hello, friends. Did the Alzheimer's Association and the pharmaceutical industry finally come up with a drug to help Alzheimer's disease? Hi, I'm Dr. Becky of Dr. Becky's Better Brain Tips, and I wanted to give you a rundown of the special on CNN that was just aired recently. And that special was called The Last Alzheimer's Patient, and it was hosted by Dr. Sanjay Gupta. And I watched the special, and there were some parts of the special that had me very, very encouraged. But then there were other parts of the special that had me very discouraged. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about what I discovered, and I'm hopeful that this information will help you also on your journey to improving the health of your brain. And when I initially did a video to talk about my thoughts on this special that CNN put out, it was about 30 minutes. And I know a lot of people don't really have 30 minutes to sit at one sitting. So I'm going to break this video into two distinct parts so that we can nudge it down to maybe get it to the 12 to 15 minute mark per video. But the first part that I want to talk about is related to, and again, it was talked about in that Sanjay Gupta special on CNN called The Last Alzheimer's Patient. And that is when the Alzheimer's Association came out and talked about their clinical trial. It was called an A4 study. So the letter A, the number 4, and that's because there is a gene that's called ApoE4 that can be an indicator of an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. So the pharmaceutical industries have been trying to come up with a drug that will help. And so far, it's been a dismal failure. And sadly, this drug in this clinical trial was also a dismal failure. And there are many parts of this study that really, really made me sad because of time lost that could have been very valuable to people that were in the study who have early dementia or what's called mild cognitive impairment. So the start of the loss of cognitive function, the start of the Alzheimer's process. But this study that the Alzheimer's Association did along with the pharmaceutical industry was 240 weeks. So roughly 5 years, just a little bit shy of 5 years. And the drug that they were studying is a drug that's called Solanezumab. And Solanezumab is a monoclonal antibody, but it is not the first go-round with this class of drugs. Sadly, it's the third go-round with this class of drugs. So the first go-round happened in 2020, 2021, and the name of that drug at the time was called Aduhelm, Aduhelm. And Aduhelm was, again, a monoclonal antibody, and the FDA fast-tracked that drug to get it onto the market. Again, fast-tracked it, meaning it didn't go through the entire clinical trial process to look at safety and efficacy. But they had enough glimmers early on in the early part of the trials that said, yep, let's get this out to the market. And they did. And then they discovered two very important things. Number one, Aduhelm did not in any way, shape, or form slow down the loss of cognition or slow down the progression of Alzheimer's disease. That's number one. Number two, sadly, Aduhelm increased what was called microhemorrhaging of the brain, so brain bleeds. But not only did it increase brain bleeds, it also increased swelling of the brain, and that's why then the FDA, even though they fast-tracked the drug, they ended up taking the drug off of the market. They said it was too dangerous. Well, then, just 18 months later, then they released a second monoclonal antibody that's called Leqembi, Leqembi, and it is still on the market, but it has a black box warning because of the same side effects. It increases brain bleeds and it increases risk of swelling in the brain, both of which can be fatal consequences. So again, we've got a second attempt, Leqembi, still on the market, but isn't helping slowing down the process and is increasing brain bleeds by about 30%, you should know. So this isn't just a small little risk. This is a pretty good sized risk when you're talking about the health of your brain. Well, the third trial that had been going on, again, that A4 trial that the Alzheimer's Association sponsored, again for 240 weeks, and they just now called a stop to that study for the same reason that Aduhelm was pulled off of the market, and the same reason Leqembi, though it's still on the market, is a dismal failure, and that is, number one, Solanezumab, the drug used in this A4 study, does not slow down the progression of Alzheimer's disease or slow the loss of cognitive function. And sadly, number two, it does increase the risk of microhemorrhaging in the brain and swelling in the brain. So we now have, since 2020, 2021, and we're just now in 2024, so we're talking in 3 or 4 years, they've come up with 3 drugs. All 3 drugs have been a dismal failure. Now, the part that made me the saddest about when the spokesperson for the Alzheimer's Association came on and spoke with Sanjay Gupta on this special is they came out, and when they spoke, they were, saddened and, gosh, we're sorry we did this clinical trial and sadly it didn't give us the results that we had hoped for. But then this gal went on in the same breath and said, gosh, I wish there were some lifestyle things that we could recommend. Maybe talk about nutrition. Maybe we could talk about that. Maybe we could talk about exercise. But the studies just haven't been done. And so until those studies have been done, we can't make those recommendations. That's the part that made me sad, because if these people had spent 240 weeks learning better strategies on nutrition, learning better strategies on exercise, learning better strategies on stress management and sleep habits, they could likely have significant improvement in the quality of their health. And when the Alzheimer's Association says there haven't been any studies, sadly, that's a bold-faced lie. There have been lots and lots of studies, and I'm going to be showing some books, because for those of you who don't know, I came into the world of Alzheimer's and brain function because, well, a couple of things. Number one, my mom and my dad both died of Alzheimer's disease. Not only did my mom and my dad both die of Alzheimer's disease, I had a maternal grandfather and a maternal cousin who both died of brain cancer. So it runs deep in my family, dysfunction in the brain. And I know that I want to do everything in my power to help the health of my brain so that I don't succumb to something like Alzheimer's disease or brain cancer or any other myriad of brain disorders. And in 2017, I had come across a book. This is the book right here, The End of Alzheimer's. And it was written by Dr. Dale Bredesen, who is a neurologist. And at that time, I just had a traditional functional medicine practice. Again, I am a retired physician now, but at that time, I was in active practice. And when I read this book by Dr. Dale Bredesen, I called his office because I knew there's no way Dr. Bredesen could see all of the people in the United States of America that had Alzheimer's disease. But when I called the office and I spoke to one of his staff members, I said, does Dr. Bredesen offer any kind of training for other doctors to be certified in his protocols to help people with brain dysfunction? And as fate would have it, they said, yes, the Institute for Functional Medicine has a credentialing program. So I then even though I still had an active private practice, went back and got my postdoctorate certification from Dr. Dale Bredesen's protocol, which is called Precode and Recode, which means preventing cognitive decline and reversing cognitive decline. So again, when the Alzheimer's Association says that there aren't any studies, there aren't any trials that show lifestyle medicine works, that's a big, big lie, and it makes me sad. So again, I, after reading this book and was so impressed, went back to school, had my practice by day, did my training at night to get certified in this lifestyle protocol. But Dr. Dale Bredesen isn't the only doctor who came up with great protocols. There's a husband and wife team, and you can see their book here. And it's Dean. I was thinking about Dean Ornish. I'm going to talk about him too. Dean and Aisha Sergi. And they are also medical doctors who have put together a protocol, a lifestyle protocol that helps slow down or reverse cognitive decline. And in the study, the CNN study that Sanjay Gupta did, he also spoke with another medical doctor, Dr. Dean Ornish. And Dean Ornish also has lifestyle protocols that help. So in the description box, I'm going to put links to various different studies so that you can see that there really are things you can do. Because the truth is, you cannot sit around and wait for the magical drug to come to stop the progression of any kind of cognitive decline. And if you're waiting for the drug to come, then sadly you are going to waste precious time being proactive. And the thing that's so wonderful about these various lifestyle strategies, whether or not you choose to utilize Dr. Dale Bredesen's work in the Recode and Precode protocols, whether you choose to use Dean Ornish's protocols or Dean and Aisha Sergi's protocols, they're, again, all wonderful trials showing images of the brain before they started these lifestyle protocols, and during and after. And you can see with your own eyes that the health of the brain improves, that parts of the brain that were shrinking away can actually fill back in. You can actually grow new brain cells. And for some reason unknown to me, the Alzheimer's Association does not want you to know that you can build brand new brain cells, but you can build brand new brain cells. And again, these lifestyle options can show you how to do that. Certain foods can do that. Certain kinds of exercises can do that. So if you have not seen the special on CNN called The Last Alzheimer's Patient, I do hope you'll tune in. Again, I'll have a link for that so that you can go check that video out, because it's, again, the part when the Alzheimer's Association is speaking, that has me discouraged because they're leading people down a path of wasting time. But the rest of the special that Sanjay Gupta did made me very encouraged, because he's showing many people utilizing great lifestyle strategies that are improving the health of the brain, and that's what's important. And I hope that you will take the time to share this video with any loved one that you have that's concerned about any kind of brain challenges. And again, whether or not they currently have some brain challenges going on, maybe some, we'll call it foggy brain, just kind of slow to recall things, kind of are a little bit scattered and forgetful. If you have family or friends like that, please share this information with them. Or if you have family and friends that are like me and are just trying to be proactive, I'm not waiting for the signs and symptoms to show up. I'm going to do something now to prevent those signs and symptoms from showing up. So if I can be of benefit to any of your family or friends, please share this information. Also, in the description box, I have got a free 10-day meal plan that anybody can have access to that is going to be loaded with the foods that are clinically proven to improve the health of your brain. So with the 10-day meal plan, you can just kind of rotate those meals through over and over to have a nice, robust meal plan that will support optimal brain health. So thank you for tuning in. Again, I hope you will share this information. If you could hit the like button, that helps the YouTube algorithm get this information out to more people. And I'm going to be doing part 2 in just a minute, talking about some of the key things you can do, the real strategies that will help you to grow brand new brain cells. Blessings. See you next time. Bye.